Okay, so now you're ready to actually use the plier. So you've spun some singles.
Here's my singles.
Okay, on your regular bobbin.
My single, yeah. On the spinning wheel bobbin, yeah. Now I want to transfer, because I want to make a 3-ply. So I want to transfer this single onto these little bobbins so I can do a 3-ply.
Okay.
Now to do that I need to put the big bobbin onto my Jennie Plyer. And most bobbins that I've tried will fit on the Jennie Plyer. I've not found one yet that won't go on the Jennie Plyer. Sometimes the pigtail gets in the way, so we just have to adjust the pigtail around a little bit. So it's just missing it, so it will actually spin on the Jennie Plyer. So now I'm going to put this, oops, yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread the Jennie Plyer. So if I'm going to be using a large spinning wheel bobbin, I'm going to wind it around this pigtail here first. So it's going to go around, and 2 and 3 times. So can you see it's going right the way through.
Okay, and the pigtail's actually captured the yarn.
Yeah, you have to wind it around clockwise.
Okay. And now that puts it into the centre of the pigtail.
Yes, and now I'm going to wind it onto the top one. So the same thing again. It's going to go round and round and round, and now it's in the centre. Can you see that as well?
Yes, got it.
It's going right the way through. Now it's ready. This now goes on the floor. So what I'm going to do is just wind it around a couple of times around the little bobbin before I start treadling, just to make sure it's caught, otherwise it would just spin. So. Can you see how it moves? If I don't support it, this is what happens.
Okay, wobbles.
Yes, so I'm just going to put my thumbnail in there. One thing you can do is to use a dowel, or you can use your orifice threader or something to hold that.
Instead of your fingernail?
Instead of your fingernail, yes.
Okay.
Well, I'll show you. Let me just get this. Here's the orifice threader. So if I just put the orifice threader into the hole, wrong way, turn it this way. There we go. There. See how it holds it steady?
Yep.
You just wind it backwards and forwards slowly just to get it even, and treadle evenly too, and that means you will get a much better feed off of the Jennie Plyer.
Okay, so now we're filling a bobbin.
So when I fill that bobbin, we'll say that's full.
Okay, but you can get a lot more. You can get a lot more singles on there, can't you?
Yes, you can fill it right up.
2 ounces?
Yes, you can get 2 ounces on there.
Okay.
So we'll say that's full for now. We'll just drop that for now. We'll put our next one on. I'll just wind it around again a few times just to catch it.
And then treadle the same way, so it's going to be spinning the same way, I guess.
It will be spinning the same way here.
Okay.
There. Now we're going to pretend that one's full. Then get a third one. If the spinning wheel is spinning to the left, then I'm going to be putting the single on this small bobbin with my right hand. If the spinning wheel is going to the right, I'm going to be loading the single onto the small bobbin with my left hand. It just works much better if the single is going over the top of the bobbin. Can you see that, how it goes over the top?
Okay.
If it was to go underneath, it doesn't work as well, so I much prefer it myself for it to go over the top.
Okay, so you have more control.
You have much more control if it's going over the top, yes. Consistent treadling means speed, so you want to try and keep it as even as possible when you're loading onto these little bobbins and using the pod. Alright, so now I've got my bobbins, my mini bobbins loaded. Now I'm going to make a 3-ply. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of fibre underneath just to stop these bobbins from spinning around too much, because they're a little bit light and I think they will spin. So I'll just wind a little piece of fibre around.
Okay. So if you had, say if you had 2 ounces on each bobbin, then it probably wouldn't be necessary?
It probably wouldn't until you get right down to the bottom, or you might not even need it at all. It's just that sometimes it happens.
So try it and see.
Try it, yeah. If it works for you without putting this on, then that's fine. But I have found sometimes you do need it, especially when you're applying silk. They are too light. So there, so each of the bobbins have got a little cushion of fibre underneath.
Okay.
So now one thing with the bobbins, once they're on the ply, you need to have them all going in the same direction. It's no good having one spinning one way and one the other.
Right.
It doesn't come off as easy. Let me find the end here. See how they're coming off a different way?
Right. One of the bobbins needs to be turned over.
One of the bobbins needs to be turned around. Which one do we turn? That doesn't matter as long as they're all spinning the same way. Let me find the end of this one. Alright, there you go. There, that one is spinning the same way.
Okay.
So I turned the correct one. So now I'm going to put this through, these 3, through the pigtails. And again you twist it clockwise to get it through. You don't have to go through this centre one.
Okay, don't go through the side pigtails, you just go through the pigtail at the top of the tree.
The very top one.
Okay.
So now this goes on the floor. Now which side you want it on is entirely up to you. Whichever side you prefer to ply from. We need to take the pod out. We've got our empty spinning wheel bobbin ready to go. We need to pull our leader through. Now this is the orifice threader that we make, which works beautifully on the lendrum. So
as it comes.
As it is, yes, as it comes. The Jensentina too, we need to bend just the tip of it to make sure it will come out where we need it to. And we just gently, not quite enough, I'm just gently bending it between my thumb and my finger, just a little bit at a time. That should be enough. Nope, still a little bit more. It's deceiving. There.
So there's a major difference in the orifices.
There is a lot of difference, yeah. Just a bit more. Some of them are easy. There we go. So now it's through. And then once it's set, it will stay at that position. You won't have to do it again. So now we're just going to pull that through. Instead of the hook, which I find very inconvenient, I much prefer to have this loop mechanism.
Okay, smoother?
It's easier to pull the leader through.
It doesn't catch?
No, it doesn't catch. And that's the bonus of it. Okay. So now I'm just going to split my leader here and just pop my singles through. Now I spun to the right for my single, so I'm going to ply to the left. I'll just get it started and then I can get my fingers in position. Now what I need to do is to put my fingers between the singles that I've got down here, otherwise they catch and they twist. So I need to put my fingers in between each one of these. I've got 1, 2.
Oh, I see. You're separating the singles.
Yes, I'm separating them
Okay.
just like this. There are many different ways of holding your singles, and it's whatever's comfortable for yourself, for you to do. This is the way I hold them. And now this hand that's holding the singles stays still. It's the other hand that moves. And what you want is a consistent pull from the singles on the Jennie Plyer. This is quite a hairy hairy fibre, so it catches quite a bit. But if you take it slow and steady, then it'll all come off nice and easy. If I didn't keep this hand with the singles separated still, if I move this backwards and forwards, I would get kinking in my singles.
Okay.
Yes, it's just a very, very gentle way of applying, very easy way of applying. And if I wanted to do a 6-ply, I would hang, but I'd have 2 yarn in each of the fingers.
Right. And that's it.
And that's it.
As easy as pie.
Yep, it's great for when you go to workshops. You don't need to take as much equipment with you. You don't need to take as many bobbins because you've got these little mini bobbins to use, put your samples on.
That's good. Thank you.